welcome to the Datslam Chronicles. I'm Kyle. I'm going to be your super sexy host. Yeah, I'll show you what it's all about. This is my new old car. Bought it just the other day. A 1982 Datsun Sunny Estate fastback. Not many of them known to be left in the UK, mainly because Datsuns rot really well. This one, however, is a bit special. It's had a touch of juice from our good old friends Rayvern. Now named the Datslam Sunny. Peer through the boot. Got a nice spring box of 4 rounds, single pump and motor, and a lovely big leisure battery. Only running 12 volt at the moment, so it's not the quickest at going up and down, but it does move fairly well. I want to get it to drop a bit quicker. On the exterior, basically completely standard how it came with the factory, apart from the badges. I just want to tidy it up a bit, and that's what this series is going to be about. The interior, the same, standard. Same steering wheel with 4 horn buttons, just in case you're that angry. Do have a big green button there, it's for a big horn, but it doesn't currently work. And a massive rev counter, just so you can see how much engine power you're using. I've got a quick box just here, which allows both fronts and both rears to be operated, as well as I like to see it as like a sort of a Nintendo 64 controller or something like that, which is up, down, and then this joystick here controls which part of the car you want to control, as well as pancake, which just lowers it all the way to the floor. Original stereo, long wave and medium wave. It does work, but I don't think there are any stations around here that actually transmit that frequency. And I've got a button here to allow me to control the car using some key fobs, but I can't figure out how to work it. I've tried turning it on and I can hear the solenoids clicking, but nothing moves, so that's something for a bit more investigation. Bonnet, it's the same story, completely standard. Well, I say completely standard. There's been a few changes, a few relays and stuff for the horn, a few extra wires for the 12 volt battery in the rear. It's a 1.5 A15 full speed, and I have absolutely no idea about it. It's done 63,000 miles since 82. Still running carb. I haven't got a clue what kind of carb it is. And on the air filter, I've got my old summer winter switch. Currently switched to winter because it is bloody freezing. Does have power brakes though, which is quite impressive. And a steering box, but it is manual, like no power steering, manual steering rack. Fuel filter is there, fuel pump, alternator. The alternator belt's looking a bit shabby. And the main reason I'm in here today is because of that. The water pump bearings are gone. So that's what I'm going to be taking off today, making sure I can get the right part and then ordering a new one. I need to do a coolant flush as well, because when you take this off, if your engine's cold by the way, it is very gooey in there. So I want to flush all that out, and then got a bit of peace of mind. Then I'll also be doing a oil and filter and oil filter change, as well as an air filter change. But it's a pretty cool car. No one really expects it from a big beige brick like this. Right, to start off, I have a look underneath. I've got my oil catch can, or drain can, or whatever the hell you want to call it. I did want to jack the car up, but as it's on hydraulics, excuse me, I just lifted it all the way up, and it's given me enough room. I want to first drain the coolant out so I can remove the top hose, the bottom hose, which goes to here, so I can remove the radiator and give that a flush. And luckily for us, Datsun installed a little drain plug there. By the looks of the floor pan down there, if I just empty it, it should all just channel out into where the bucket is, hopefully. If not, I'm about to make a mess on the driveway. Always wear gloves when you're doing this, because coolant isn't exactly the nicest thing to have on your hands. And I really need to get a phone holder, because doing this one-handed is going to be interesting. Let's have a look, see where it goes. Oh, currently nowhere. How about I'll take the cap off. Oh, yep, there we go. Oh, yep, maybe I need to adjust where the bucket is because I think I just made a bit of a mess. That perception for the phone doesn't really work. My next move is to remove the top radiator hose and install the drain plug back in at the bottom so I don't forget later on. I then wanted to remove the lower radiator hose, but it turns out when this has been done in the past, they've put that hose on before putting the radiator in, and they've done the Jubilee clip up so that the driver end is facing down, and I can't remove the bit at the bottom because that is actually structural to the car, so I'm going to have to remove the radiator, lift it up and then undo that, so I can get to the bolts that hold the fan in, and then I'll then remove the auxiliary belt, because if you do that first you've got no resistance against anything to undo the bolts. So I got halfway through removing the radiator. Being old and Japanese, I think most things are going to be a 10mm, just like my MX-5, and I thought, why am I taking the radiator off now when I could just undo the hose from there and then take the bolts out, instead of having to lift it up and then awkwardly trying to undo that from underneath. So I'll do that, and then while it's out I'll switch that Jubilee clip around so in the future I can take it out without having to remove it from the actual block. I don't think it'll make any difference really, but you never know. So I've got it undone. It was quite rusty and almost rounded, so I don't think this stuff has been touched for a while, and the hose is quite stuck on there. So a good trick is to just try and rotate the hose on the thing. There it is. So after struggling for about 20 minutes, I can't get that hose off. It's proper stuck on. So I'm going to go back to plan A, remove these last two bolts holding the radiator in, lift the radiator up, then remove that clamp down there from the radiator, and then hopefully with the radiator out of the way and the hose still attached there, I'll have a bit more room to sort of try and twist it off. It started to move a little bit, but the clamp that was holding it on was completely knackered, so it was very rusty. I don't think this stuff has been touched for a while. And just like that, look, the radiator is no more. So it was simply 4 10mm head bolts, so like M6 maybe, and then it sort of lodged into some holders just so it doesn't fall out. That Jubilee clip, I don't know what style they are, like wire Jubilee clips. They probably dig into the hoses, and that was pretty nasty as well. It all sort of started to round, so I think I might just replace all the Jubilee clips and maybe even the hoses if I can get some. They're in quite a good nick, but they have been cut into by those Jubilee clips that sort of wire ones. Now I'm going to try and get this hose off and throw loads of coolant all over the floor, because, you know, why not, eh? Finally, after a bit of a struggle, I got the hose off of there, the radiator out with the 10mm head bolts, and then here's the radiator. It's got a few dead things on it, but overall it's in pretty good condition. All the paint sort of flaked off. I'm not sure whether to repaint, like send it all back and repaint it black, how it would have come out of the factory, or polish it up, because it's brass. And I don't know if that would look quite nice, but when it's bouncing up and down, I don't think many people will be looking at the radiator, to be fair. There you go, it's Barry, the bee. Poor little bee. And then something else is dead there, another bee probably. And a bit of tree, so that'll clean up quite nice. I mean, I drove it back from Gloucester to West Sussex, and didn't have any problems with it getting hot at all. In fact, it was probably running a bit too cold. But now I've got that out of the way. I don't know if you can hear that, but that is not what it's supposed to sound like. So that will be my next job. In there. Don't know if there's a flathead or a 10mm or an 8mm maybe, so I'll give that a go at taking that out. So to get a better look at it, I removed the grill. It's quite easy, there's just these little sort of, I don't know what you'd call them, they're sort of just retaining clips, and you just twist it 45 degrees with a screwdriver and it just popped out, and then it was just sat in these. It's quite easy. I do like Datsun. They do forward think, and speaking of talking of forward thinking, they've actually put a sort of lock tabs on these so that the fan doesn't fly off. So I pulled two back and I couldn't get the others, so I just took the grill off just to make it a bit easier to show you guys. All of those lock tabs bent out of the way. Simple 10mm socket, I've already loosened these. 10mm socket and an extension. And then screw, I'll probably finish it off by hand just so I don't drop anything into the grime. And then once it's off, show you guys what's underneath. The fan is removed, still got one of the sort of spreader plate sash lock tabs in there. F for front, and then it's got like a red mark. I don't know what that's for, I don't know if that is used, if they've used that for timing in the past. But it's also got like a spacer on the back, an aluminium spacer which goes onto the pulley, which will now just come off. Hopefully, there we go. There's the pulley, doesn't look in too bad condition. All the bolts look pretty new, to be fair. The head looked a little bit nasty, but the actual bolts are in pretty good nick. And yeah, the actual water pump, bit of play in there which we don't like. I'll move this belt, I've got a new one that came with the car. Another 8 wheels that I can choose from. Some arch liners which you can't really put in because the car is too low. A big horn which I think doesn't work because it's seized or something wrong with it, but that's for another day. And then there's no play in that crank, which is good. We like that. Alternator, nice and free. No play in the bearings there. Just the water girlfriend just saying goodbye. Yeah, sorry ladies, I have a girlfriend. I'm taken. Next step is to remove the water pump. I believe it's just 5 bolts. I don't know what that's for. That might just be a locating pin. Yeah, there's a pin at the bottom. 2 bolts and then 3 studs. So hopefully the nuts will just come off and the studs will stay behind, but I'm not 100% sure. And once it's off, I'll have a look on. I don't even know where to get spares for this yet. I've got a mini, but that's just mini spares or mini sport. Mini spares online, there's bloody loads of them. So for Datsun, I don't know if there's a DatsunSpares.com. If not, I might just have to have a look on eBay. I had a quick look on Eurocar parts. Yeah, that's nice. And they didn't really have anything. I ordered an oil filter from them, so fingers crossed it's the right one. If I can find something to put this coolant in, I might even do a oil and filter change today before work. Oh yeah, I can just stick the pin in there now. So yeah, I'll get on with that. So then that all kind of went to plan at the moment. Got both bolts out and then all the studs are still there to realign it. But I imagine as it's been on there, it's probably the original one, so that's 82, that's a few years. So that's 26 years? Yeah, 36 years. Yeah, don't mind my maths. That is going to be pretty stuck on there, so I might have to get a bit of gentle persuasion on that, just to free it up a bit. Gentle persuader, otherwise known as a Thor 2 copper hard mallet, with a bit of pink on it, and also a bit of spray painting, and I am the best at masking up, so let's see if I can give this a tap. So, with a bit of gentle persuasion, with the gentle persuader, only using the hide side, just give it a tap side to side, like so, and hit some other stuff, and then just wiggled it loose. It all sort of fell off before I could grab my phone, but yeah, the impeller, it all looks sort of probably cast iron maybe, hence it's starting to rust, and then the bearings in it are shot. I don't know if you could overhaul this. I might give it a go, you know, just strip it down to see what it's like on the inside. And as it's going to be off for a couple of days, I'll pop all the bolts and nuts back onto the block so I don't lose them. I've done the same for the fan, the spacer and the pulley, and the bolts are in there for the radiator. I'm only doing this with a really simple toolkit, so if any of you guys want to try any of this, I'm literally using just basic stuff. I don't actually own any ugga-dugga equipment like the old rattle guns, so if it isn't coming off, then I'm going to be using a hammer or a blowtorch just to try and loosen it up a bit. A bit of coolant did come out when I first undid it, so if you are doing this yourself, just be wary of that. Yeah, so it's quite simple how it works. Water gets transported from here to here or there to there. I'm not actually sure which way around. I thought it would come out of here and into there, out of here to there, maybe. I don't know. And then the thermostat is just there as well. So yeah, it'll get pushed. Does it get pushed up? I ain't got a clue. Yeah, really simple, like it is on most cars really. So you've got like an electric water pump. I was looking into that for the Mini, but I think it's like 750 quid or something for the whole kit, which isn't too bad if you think about it all, but for the turbo budget that is quite a lot of it. I'm just going to clean this up with a razor blade, try not to cut my fingers off, and then probably wire brush it a bit as well just to make sure the faces are clean. Just try and give the whole area a clean. All the timing marks are still quite prominent. Probably looks like it was painted blue at some point, like the rock cover. I think it was probably the same colour blue. Yeah, eventually I think I'll replace the engine mounts. The previous owner's going to send some on to me. When I picked up the car, he had loads of stuff stashed away he didn't realise, so I've got new engine mounts, I've got rear trailing arm bushes because these are worn on this, so like, if it's not under load it sort of judders a bit and it's not the most comfortable. Haynes manual, which would be really helpful for when I'm adjusting the points, because I've never actually had to play with points, because it was misfiring a little bit when I was driving it around yesterday. And some hydraulic fluid as well for the pump and all the cool stuff like that. So just while I was scraping all this off, I went to get my wire brush. Just popping to mind, this could possibly have asbestos in it, this gasket. It might not. I was thinking, if any of you guys at home are doing this and you think it might be asbestos, they were using asbestos on everything back in the glory days of it. Gaskets, clutches, brakes, building materials, everything was asbestos. So if you're not 100% sure, you don't have all the safety gear, best thing I'd do is just try and keep it moist, keep it damp so that there's no fibres going up in the air. It's the fibres that cause the asbestosis, which can lead to all sorts of health problems in the future. Some people can go their entire lives breathing asbestos, it doesn't affect them, whereas others, one fibre and it can your body can really badly react to it. So I just got it a little bit damp, and then I'll just wire brush it all off so that the surface is clean, ready for the new gasket when it finally arrives. A bit of old gasket on there, just using like a blade out with Stanley knife and a wire brush. I get all my stuff from Amazon or Machine Mart, Screwfix, Toolstation, that sort of thing, and yeah, it's not too bad. Just collect them as you go along. I gave the what's this? Probably the timing chain cover. Gave that a little bit of a clean with the wire brush and bits around it. There's that housing. Still a little cut up in here. It's just all gets squirted up from the fan. It came up alright. It was all black and gunky before. So this engine bay has probably never been cleaned properly. So I might give it a go. I might cover all the electrics up and might like pressure wash it, or just keep going with the wire brush. I've got some like heavy duty degreaser designed for cleaning engines, so I might give that a go. just try and get rid of all the gunk to make it look a little bit nicer and cleaner. You never know, it might look pretty good afterwards. Yeah, I want to remove the horn so I can have a look at that later on. And then yeah, I'll have to pop over to Euro car parts in a bit. I think my order will be ready at 10. I've got the air filter, oil filter, which is kind of accessible actually, and 4 litres of oil as well. I think it's a 3.3 litre capacity in this. It's not a huge amount. And Euro car parts were doing a Halloween special. It was like massively discounted, so I got 2 filters and all the oil for less than the price of the oil that you would get at Halfords, even with trade. So yeah, I'll keep cleaning, then maybe look at ordering parts, ordering a new water pump, new Jubilee clips. I'll order some of them, find out what size these ones are, and then might have a look and see if they do silicone hoses. I don't know how old these are. They look pretty new, but you don't want to be going on a road trip and then get cut short by popping a hose or something. I did notice that my this car does actually have VTEC, so you know, watch out, Civic boys, I'm coming to get you in my beige wagon. Right, I took the opportunity when I saw it to remove the siren. This big old lump, a 24 volt Lucas Marine siren. I don't know if it's actually running 24 volt, probably not. So if I eventually run 24 volt in the rear, I might hook it up to this and see how loud it can be. I want to get it apart, ship it down, make sure everything inside's working, test the motor, and then replumb it in. But it was well fitted. It's quite heavy. This plate welded to the bumper bracket, and then a nice relay. I might tidy the wiring up, get a fused relay, and then tidy. It's the red wire with the inline fuse in it. Just try and get it all a little bit neater. Put a bit of cable shrink around it, cable tidy around it, just so it's a little bit more respectable in here. The car's called Rodney, by the way. I can't imagine why it's called Rodney, but yeah, we're getting there. Just got to pop out, take the Mini over to Euro car parts, pick up my order. Then yeah, see if we can do a oil filter change and air filter change. Get it a little bit newer. My harness is on, and hopefully she'll start first time. Go to Euro car, pick up all the spares. I know I'm repeating myself, but you know, if you don't talk to yourself, you don't get a decent conversation anymore, do you? Oh God, I haven't driven this thing for about a week now. Just put my phone on the steering wheel, get clipped in, and hopefully she'll start on the button. Oh, look at that. Wicked. Right, I'll see you guys in a bit. So I'm back from my trip to Eurocar. They didn't have the air filter because I was a day early. But what they did have was the Castrol 10W40 Magnatech. It was on special offer because it's Halloween for some reason. That means oil is cheap. And I've got a new Bosch filter as well. I haven't actually got any history of when it was changed. So the old one's in there. It's an old Champion filter, I believe. But what I will do today is I will take the old air filter out. So when I go there, I can just measure it up against the new one. I'm just going to grab something to eat because I'm bloody starving. And I've got to work at 2, so I've got to make sure that I've eaten before I go. Right, back out in the cold. Just had some lovely sausage and roast potatoes. Just going to empty the coolant into a empty screen wash tub, just to keep it safe. It's not the nicest in coolant. Ignore all the float bits. That's probably just stuff where I've been scraping the gasket off and everything that's just been sat in the tray. But nice and orange and rusty. And yeah, not the best. So when I put all that together, fresh coolant will go in. Make sure it's the right coolant, with the right concentration and ratio to the water. That way the engine will stay healthy and cool, or warm, depending on what part of the year we're in, and be the most efficient. There's probably 2.5 litres of stuff came out. There'll still be stuff in the engine. On the floor, I'll give it all a rinse down. Nowadays they put flavourings and stuff in it so it doesn't taste as sweet. Because it used to, cats and dogs and wild animals used to be really attracted to it because of how sweet it was. They've sort of got rid of that, but you should still be careful when working with coolant. Dispose of it properly, go down the local tip and find out where their it's almost like a chemical, find out where their chemical disposal is. Same with oil, you can take that down to your local tip normally. Normally it's free to get rid of. If not, try a local car garage, see if they can dispose of it for you. They might charge something, but it's better than getting a fine off of someone. I had reports. I heard one of my mates was working on his car and someone's cat was ill, and the police came around asking if he'd been working on his car and if he'd dropped any coolant, and it wasn't him, but one of the neighbours had been disposing of it just in the flower beds, which is not ideal. Right, so for this one, I'm going to have to jack the car up a bit. So I'm in the garage, surrounded by loads of other mini parts. I haven't actually quite filled this garage up yet with Datsun parts, but just get my axle stands, which are under here somewhere. Being old and Japanese, Datsuns are known to rust. This one's free, to be fair. Sorry about that. Add a little bit on the left-hand side sill, which has just been welded up. So when jacking it up, always use the correct jacking points, and then use axle stands. Don't actually know where yet, so that's the next thing I'm going to check. So I've got the car jacked up. I jacked up on the towing eye, because if it bends, it's not going to damage any part of the car. And then I've got the axle stands just resting on the lower arms of the suspension. They've actually taken all the weight of the car. I just got the jack here, holding on that just in case anything does slip. It just gives me that little bit extra time to get out from underneath. And then under here you can see there's plates welded on to the bottom of the car, just so when you're driving as low as you can, you get sparks flying. If sparks don't fly, I'm too high, I believe is the saying. And then in this, first time I've really seen how the suspension works. See, there's the ram, and then this is the hydraulic hose, which all goes under the car, somewhere down near the transmission tunnel, like that. And then there's the sump. So I'll be removing this. It looks like it may have been scraped a bit. Just drain the oil out into the oil catch can. Yeah, I just got the ring here on. I don't know if it's correct, but nothing's bent, nothing's broken, and it hasn't killed me yet. So here we go. So normally when you're doing any oil changes and oil filter changes, you would start the engine, warm it up a bit, get it up to just a bit, not quite operating temperature, just get it warm so the oil's nice and runny when it comes out. I've removed quite a bit of the engine, well, not engine, the ancillaries, so I don't really want to start it up because it's not really going to do anything. So I'm just going to do it with the oil cold. I'll show you what I've done. Using a 22mm socket, I've just broken the I've just undone this, so it's now finger tight. What you want to do, see if I can do it one-handed, is undo it while keeping pressure going up. Make sure the thing you're going to catch it with is direct underneath, and then you see how it's sort of wobbling now. That means when I pull this away really quick, all the oil should just go straight into there and not all over me. Like that, almost like I'm a professional. Hey, nice black, that's what you want. Now this should be about 3 litres, maybe 3.5 litres. I'll leave that to drain for now. Just take off the little thing just so if there is any residual vacuum in there, it will all just pour out. I do need to change the rocker cover gaskets back because it's leaking onto the manifolds there. That's all draining out. Yeah, there's a 22mm socket on this, on the Datsun A15 engine. I imagine it's the same for most of the Datsun A engines, to be fair. And then here's the sump plug. I think it's got a crush washer on it, probably just a bit stuck on there, so see if I can get a new one of them. Don't want it leaking all over the driveway. Some of these are magnetic, this one might be magnetic, so I'll give it a clean, see if there's any filings in there. Normally when I do this on the Mini, it's absolutely covered in filings, because the Mini uses the same oil, the gearbox and the engine, because the gearbox is the sump, whereas this will have separate gearbox and engine oil. So while trying to remove the crush washer, it's actually all split and come apart. It's actually deteriorated, which makes me think that it hasn't been done for a while, may have been over tightened, or they've used a few and they're all fused together and it's all sort of ripped itself apart. So I won't be able to finish the oil change today. I won't be able to put this back in without it leaking, so I'll have to order some new crush washers and then finish it off as soon as they arrive. Then to remove the oil filter, just use my strap wrench on it, just like any normal thread, lefty loosey, righty tighty, and it was actually sort of just over hand tight, so it came undone pretty easy. It was done somewhere on the Mini when I first got that. It was done ridiculously tight, and I just had to pierce it with a screwdriver and use that as leverage. So now I'll just unscrew that by hand, keeping it upright so all the oil doesn't come out, and then put the new oil filter on, so at least that's a bit done. So I just got the new oil filter out of the box, gave it a quick try on the thread to make sure it's the right thread, and it is, and the O-ring sits in the right place. It will give it a good seal. When I took the old one off, I wanted to just keep it upright, brought it down, and then emptied it into the oil tub underneath, and then gave it a quick wipe. Make sure you wear gloves into this because it is dirty, and if you get too much oil on your hands over the years, then it can cause skin problems like dermatitis. So when you fit in a new one, you want to fill it with oil and just smear a bit of oil on this rubber O-ring here, so that when it seats it's not going to tear the O-ring. Make sure the old O-ring is off, otherwise you'll have two rubber O-rings on there and then it probably won't seal and you'll leak, and you'll be like, oh, but it's a new filter, why is it leaking? There it is in place, a new filter. What it is, as I said, put a bit of oil in it, a bit of oil around the O-ring, and then put it on hand tight, so it just grips and cuts up right. So it's now hand tight. So when you try and take it off, you can use one of them instead of having to pierce it and get oil everywhere. A little bit of oil did leak out when, in the meantime of me swapping them over. But I'm not going to be able to put the sump plugs back in today because of the crush washers have all deteriorated. So what it is, when I go to Eurocar tomorrow, I will see if they have any. If not, I'll go to Car Parts and Accessories, which is literally just around the corner, and get some new crush washers so I can reinstall this and fill it with oil. I'll hopefully order a new water pump tonight. If I can figure out where they're from, I'm sure the gods of Faceballs will point me in the right direction. If not, eBay it is. And that's all I can really think of. Oh, I'll take the old air filter off up here, which is currently my tool storage area. Just put that on somehow. Like that maybe? No, there we go. That's that. Yeah, I'll get that off and see what the old air filter looks like. The nut on top was a 10mm. Sorry about the noise, the neighbours are having housework done. This little fibre seal here has come off, so I might just stick that down with a little bit of like sort of liquid gasket. And the old air filter literally just lifts out, just an old paper circular air filter dipping in, not really circular anymore, but everything else in there, you can see the top of the carburetor, looks fairly clean. So yeah, I'm going to measure the dimensions of this to make sure that the one I get from Eurocar will be the right size, and then yeah, that'll be tomorrow's job. What I'm going to do now is pack away, warm up a bit before I go to work. I'll leave the car in axle stands overnight because it's not going to be driven. I'll use the Mini from now on. I might take this top hose off just so I can get all the dimensions and the right shapes and sizes for what I need. And then I'll try and get some silicone ones ordered. Yeah, I don't know how old these are. Alright, cheers. Till next time. Ciao.